How do I maximize efficiency using different login types and browser tabs? This video is designed to help you make the most of your time when working with Encore. Encore allows for two types of logins and behaves differently based on which one you use. When you first sign up for an Encore account, you created a master business login which is assigned to the email address you provided. Encore also allows for individual employee logins which are assigned to employees' email addresses and then given to each employee entered into the software. When you log into Encore using the master business login, if you try to access a secure area of the software, Encore will prompt the user to enter their PIN in order to verify that they have access to that area as well as which tasks they can perform. The PIN, combined with the employee's system access settings, allows you to control what each employee has access to. When you instead log into Encore using an employee login, Encore assumes that the same employee will be using the software for an extended period of time, so it automatically knows which areas they have access to and which tasks they are allowed to perform. As a result, Encore doesn't need to prompt them to enter a PIN to identify who they are, which makes moving around in the software much quicker. An example of when to use the business login would be if you have a computer at the front desk but don't have a dedicated receptionist. You would want to log in using the business account, and then, as various people use it, they enter their PIN in order to navigate to different areas of Encore. Therefore, if the computer is going to be shared by more than one employee, consider using the master business login. An example of when to use a personal employee login would be any time that one specific person is using Encore on the device for an extended period of time. If you have a receptionist, they can log in one time and use the computer their entire shift without having to enter their PIN again. When they leave the computer, they just log out of Encore so other staff cannot use the system under their own logins or the master business login. The employee login should also be used on all personal devices such as tablets and mobile phones. To summarize, if you are not going to be sharing the computer or device with other employees, use the employee login. We will now walk through the steps to set up an employee login in this tutorial. First, log into Encore and click on the Employees menu option. When you click Add New to add a new employee, you are required to enter a unique and valid email address in the email field. This will be the email address the employee will use to log into Encore. Please note that this will need to be different from the other employees' emails and also needs to be different from the email used for the master business login that you chose when signing up for Encore. If you signed up for the business login using an email account that would be used by an employee, please contact our customer support team and we can assist you in reconfiguring your business login account. Once you have added the employee and saved their information into Encore, they will be sent an email to the address you entered inviting them to set their password. The employee just needs to follow the instructions in that email. We will show an example of the process later in this video. Please note that the email invitation to set up a password for their login account will expire 24 hours after it has been sent. After adding the employee, you should also click on the System Access tab. You will need to make sure they have access to everything they need in this area, as these system access settings will determine what areas of Encore they will have access to when they use their employee login or when they type their PIN when prompted if the business login was used. Check out our other tutorials to learn more about setting system access for your staff. If an employee doesn't respond to the email invitation within the 24-hour period, or if they didn't receive the email and need another one sent, there is an area of Encore where you can go to manage all of the employee login accounts. To access this area, you need to be logged in using the master business login. Click on the Utilities menu option and then, under the System Utilities section, select Account and enter your master PIN. Now choose the Account Access List tab. Here you will see a list of all the employees you have entered into Encore. If the Can Login column says yes, the account is already set up to log in. If the employee has forgotten their password or needs to set a new one up and you need to resend them an email to set up their password, click on the three-dot icon next to their name. Here you will see two options. Remove Login will remove the employee's ability to log into Encore with their email address. You might remove login privileges for an employee that you don't yet trust to be able to log into Encore on their personal devices when away from the business. In this case, they will only have access to Encore by using their PIN on a computer where the master business login was used. The Resend Password email option will send the employee an email to the email address listed so they can set up a new password. If the Can Login column says no, they do not have an employee login set up yet. Choose the employee you want to set up and click the three-dot icon to the right of their name. Click the Add Login button. Next, click the Confirm button. This will send a password setup email to the employee's email address. For this example, we will send a password setup email to Tracy. Here is a sample of the email invitation the employee will receive. They will need to click the link in the email and set up a password to log in. Once they have set their password, they can log in using their email address and password. They will have the same system access that they have when using their PIN, but will not have to enter it each time they navigate to a different screen. Lastly, we want to show you a useful tip when using Encore on a daily basis in your web browser. Encore has the ability to open different screens in separate tabs at the top of your browser window, so you can do work in different areas without having to close other screens. You can do so by right-clicking an area you want to open and select Open a New tab. Let's say, for example, that you have someone working at the computer at the front desk updating product information, but they also need to be able to answer the phone to book appointments and check guests in and out of the business at the same time. If you use the browser tabs to your advantage, you can open one tab with the sales area, one with the appointment area, and one with the products area. Now if the phone rings while you are working on updating a product record, you just click on the tab that has the appointment book open, and you can book the appointment and go right back to the tab with your product open and continue working. To check out a client, you just click on the Sales tab, do your work and come back. Having multiple tabs open at your front desk allows you to work in multiple areas of Encore without having to close out of one screen and then try to remember where you were. This will be a time saver throughout your day. Hopefully the topics we have covered in this video help you to make more efficient use of your time working with Encore. Remember, if you need help with anything, we are happy to assist and are just a phone call or email away. Thanks for watching.